Hey, this is EU4. Let's try a AI bonuses, meaning make the game harder. Hard AI difficulty, meaning make the game harder, and Ironman mode, meaning make the game harder. And we're gonna play as Savoy, which should make the game nearly impossible. And I suspect. How do you choose whether or not to save it to the cloud? Okay, I think Ironman is automatically saved to the cloud, so that'll be good. Notice how all of my successful game saves are named _2. It's because every time you try even an easy nation like Austria or Venice or Poland, you're going to lose a couple times before you win. So expect me to lose more than a couple times trying to play Savoy. So let's call this Savoy 1, baby. I don't know if you have to call the first one 1. But we shall indeed. Okay, so as with any nation in Eastern Europe or the middle of Europe or whatever, your only real goal is to ally France, and then you win. But you win in that you won't die as long as you're allied with France, but that doesn't mean that you can actually expand your borders quick enough to become a world power before the end of the playthrough. So there's kind of a multi-pronged race. First, you're racing to ally France so that you don't die, and then second, you're racing to get big enough by the end of the game that you actually start getting any score whatsoever. And I don't really compete for score because I'm not willing to play all the way to the end of the game, but I do kind of compete for score in that I want to be a world power before the end of the game, or else I would just be very sad. So the first thing you want to do is look for one-cost monarchs of all types, but we only have $2 of income coming in. I don't think we're going to use our armies for a very long time. We actually have a boat, which is probably unnecessary. Let's see what boat we have. We got this little guy, a galley and 2 cogs. So I think I'm going to get rid of that galley, because honestly, if you can't fight anyone, then why do you need a fighting ship, right? And then this guy, cogs are troop transports. The only use that this would have would be in taking Corsica from Genoa, which I'm not yet decided as to whether or not I'm planning to do that at all. I guess it depends on what my missions are. So as for advisors, we've got a 352 leader. Typically, unless you're going for a trade empire, which we might. I don't really know if we're going to go for a trade empire. I mean, I've played as Venice before and gone for the trade empire route, and it was really fun. It was the most fun I've had of any of the nations I've played. And it was challenging, and it had huge rewards at the end. I was ridiculously rich. And I'm basically right next to Venice, so I could theoretically do the same thing as Savoy, but because I've already done it, I don't know that I want to do it again. So that's what, to the long story short, diplomatic points are completely useless unless you're going for a trade empire. So you have to decide early whether or not you're going for a trade empire. And if you're not, then the only purpose of this guy is to give you +5 diplomatic reputation. So since I didn't get a 1-cost +5 diplomatic reputation guy, I probably can't vassalize or diplovassalize anyone. Diplovassalizing is when you say, hey, look at me, I'm much more powerful than you. Wouldn't you rather integrate with my country? You know, for example, if you were the entire United States and Texas was not part of the United States, but you completely surrounded them, then you could just kind of imply, you know, you should start paying federal taxes and be protected by us, hint, hint, or we'll kill you, kind of thing. But I'm not that much bigger than many of my neighbors. I might be able to vassalize Genoa. Dynastic action vassalization. They can't marry us because they're the wrong religion or they're the wrong government type. One of those two. Let's see. Where's religion? They're the same religion, so they must be the wrong government type. I wonder how to see their government type. Merchant Republic. Yeah, they're a republic, so screw them. We can't vassalize them except through war, so that means we're going to war, maybe immediately. Yeah, we might go to war with them right away. So what we would do is like ally Milan and then just attack them. I suspect they're part of the Holy Roman Empire, the imperial map. Yeah, they're part of the empire. So if I do attack them, I run the risk that Austria will defend them, and like any one of these other nations might defend them. But because I'm part of the empire too, it's pretty likely that no one will defend them. People would defend them against France or someone, but not against someone else in the empire. They're very pretty and delicious and tasty. So anyway, I have no advisors worth taking. Inflation reduction is only good if you need to take lots of loans or steal money from people, often in wars, which tends not to happen right in the middle of Europe. Production efficiency only matters once you're huge. Global trade power only matters once you're huge. Spy offense is only good really late in the game when you actually have unlocked spy things. Diplomatic reputation is great early, but it costs too much. I need it to be only +1 instead of +3 so that I can actually afford it. So none of my advisors are any good. So I'm going to not take any advisors. Instead, we'll use our money for cooler things. So after advisors, we look at disputed successions. Is there anyone whose throne we can steal? And I think that stealing thrones is no longer very reliable. What you basically have to do is royal marry them, claim their throne, which pisses them off, yet remain their friend by kissing their butts a lot, and then hope like it's like a 1 in 30 chance that you'll just get a personal union from there. There's nothing you can do after that to make it certain the way that you used to be able to by declaring war and enforcing your claim on the throne. I once fought a succession war with Russia, Poland, Lithuania, and France over some tiny like Bavaria. It was ridiculous. So succession wars are pretty funny. That can be devastating if your whole game plan is to ally France so that you don't die, and then you get a succession war against France. Yeah, that can be bad. Because sometimes when you lose alliance and you know, shared borders and all this other diplomatic pluses with somebody, then they won't re-ally you because now they're mad that you broke the alliance, even though it automatically breaks the alliance when you both are considered for the succession. So form the Italian nation, form Sardinia-Piedmont. What is that? We now rule both Piedmont and Sardinia, and Ludovico has decided to formally unite the dual kingdoms to one power, the kingdom of Sardinia-Piedmont, the true descendants of the Torini and the Selasi. Okay. How do I do that? I have to be at peace, I have to have prestige of 75, administrative tech 10, and one of the following must be true. All of the following must be true. I am Sardinia, I own Sardinia, I have a core in Sardinia, I'm the ruler of Savoy. Okay, where's Sardinia? Sardinia. Oh. It's just some island owned by Aragon. I'm not going to fight Aragon this early in the game. They're pretty powerful starting off. They have to be in order to give Castile a run for their money over that peninsula. So I only have 2 diplomats. Typically, each diplomat can maintain improved relations of 100 with 3 nations. So with 2 diplomats, I'm usually going to want to pick 6 nations to be my permanent friends. I will, by the end of the game, probably have 4 to 6 diplomats, and that will increase the number of nations I can befriend. But you typically don't need more than 3 or 4 friends anyway, because once you get France and Castile, or France and Aragon, or France and Austria, then you can just take on the world anyway, so who cares? France typically can take on the world by themselves, so once you're friends with France, you're okay. So the first 2 friends I'm going to work on, I worry about Burgundy because their king tends to die early and then someone else inherits their kingdom, so working on being friends with Burgundy can be a waste of time, but sometimes Burgundy gets really lucky and spawns an heir really quickly, and then it is kind of important to befriend them. Anyway. So work on a friendship with France. My immediate neighbors are they really like me, except for Switzerland. So I think I might fight the Swiss. So I'm gonna, oh, Austria hates me? They're gonna hate me for 200 years? Oh geez. Let's see if we can, France hates me? Everyone hates me? Wow. So I guess that's a waste of time. I don't know. I gotta prevent them from attacking me. So Burgundy seems like the only choice here, since they're the only large local power that doesn't hate me. I could probably befriend Britain or Castile as well. Castile could go well as a means of keeping France off my back. Britain hates me. Man, everyone hates me. So it looks like Burgundy and Castile are the men, the manly men, the men in tight tights. So now that we've decided what we're going to do, work on 2 friendships, let's see what our quests are. Spread our culture to Wallis. I will definitely do that, but it's not really, the reward is pointless. Form an alliance with Milan, form an alliance with Burgundy. I'm taking that one. Awesome, now we can start the game. We have entered a royal marriage. Why would I ally with Provence? They're going to get crushed by France at some point. Alright. How many diplomatic relations can I have? I don't know. But Burgundy needs to be my friend. I need to get him quick because they might not want to bother allying with such a small power as me if I don't get them before they fill up their slots. Ally, and then I will offer an alliance over here. Our army is too small, we're too far away, and our navy is too small, and they don't really like us or dislike us. They're just indifferent. So we've got to improve relations with France. I mean, Spain. Could probably work on Aragon, but as you can see, they've got a little fireball next to their opinion of us, so it's probably not worth trying to befriend them. Our force limits are 11, so let's get 11 dudes. Oops. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We'll get 14 dudes. We'll go over force limit, then immediately declare war on Genoa and take the island of Corsica. Alliance offer from Genoa and Milan. I'm tempted to take those just because, I mean, Milan anyway. I'm thinking like attacking Genoa when they're such an easy ally. Like, look at that green heart. They want to be my friend. And Milan too. But I've already got Switzerland to pick on. Maybe I should, I'm going to ditch the cogs. And I'm just going to attack Switzerland. So I will take both of these alliances. Okay, Castile. Not yet ready to be an ally, but getting closer. And I finished my mission to make an alliance over there. Royal marriage with Milan, sure, I'll do that. Ta-da, mission complete. New mission, spread our culture to Wallace. Make Mainz vote for us. I don't want to become emperor. Look how awesome the reward is for making people vote for us. But why would I want to piss off Austria, who's ridiculously powerful, just to get a vote to become emperor when I don't really want to be emperor? Create a proper fleet. Spread our culture to Wallace. I guess that's what I'm doing. Wallace, culture bomb. Pew, pew, pew. Spreading your culture just makes it give you more gold per turn. And it's absolutely not worth it. It's terrible, especially like as you grow larger and larger. It's like 300 and 10 years to convert one of your provinces, and you're only getting 5 diplomatic power per month. So spending 300 to do that is ridiculous. But early on, especially when you have very few provinces, it can be quite worth it because your entire income is 6, and if this improves your income by 1, then I'm doing it. Alright, we've got a giant army. Let's start paying them. And then maybe take out enough loans to go kill Switzerland. So we need to cast this belli against them. Well, first let's try for Castile again. Alliance, nope. I want your land. And we will make them our rivals so that we can do that with less chance of being caught. And because why not? They already hate us. And that might help our relations with other people. Should probably just type Switzerland. Alright, there we go. Now we need to get ourselves a general. Pew. Hey, that turned out pretty good. He's got 2-1-2 for stats. Not bad. Alright, and we need discipline in order to win the fight, but this is going to cause us to go bankrupt really quickly. So hopefully we can take out some loans. Hopefully the war will just last 5 seconds, so it won't matter that we took out 2 or 3 loans. Because, so basically inflation is a resource. It increases the cost of everything. When you take out a loan, you pay it back for slightly more, like 10% more than what you paid for it, and that's no big deal. But what is a big deal is it also causes inflation, because you're basically creating money. And that's what causes inflation. So when you do that, you can get rid of inflation by spending monarch points, and also inflation goes away at a steady rate if you have a certain advisor or whatever. So the ability to get rid of inflation, also there's sometimes some events that get rid of inflation stuff. The ability to get rid of inflation is wasted if you don't have any inflation. So I always like to get myself a little bit of inflation early on. So that if I get an event that reduces inflation, or if I get an advisor who reduces inflation or whatever, it's not wasted. So it's always good to take on a couple of loans early on. So if this war goes well and I win it immediately, then great. And if not, I'm starting over, because your first war has to go well, or else what's the point? I mean, I just started 2 seconds ago, so starting over is cheap. Why would I not? Alright, we got 33% done. I'm going to be funding my army for an awful long time that I don't need to be, because I'm still fabricating the claims. I shouldn't have funded them so early. Castile, bro. You ready to be my ally? Neutral attitude, distance between borders, army and navy strength. Come on, buddy. Royal marriage. Ooh, I'm 1 point away from a royal marriage though, and that'll get me that will get me an alliance for sure, right? So once my diplomat comes home, I can get a royal marriage. It takes like 30 days to get home because Spain is pretty far away. Castile, I should say. Come on, diplomat. Awesome. Alright, now we're up to 46 out of 53 on the alliance, so we're a little closer, but I think we still have some improved relations to do before we make it. If we could get +5 reputation from an advisor, then they would definitely take our offer of alliance. Well, not definitely, but they'd be far more likely to. I think maybe even +5 more likely to. Also, we could build trust by coming to their aid in some wars, figure out who they're fighting, and declare war on that person. That works quite well. But I don't plan to do that because I don't have much of an army. I've got 14 troops. And it's going to be done in 251 days. I estimate I need 90 days to get the morale of my army up to snuff. So I think now is the time to fund the army. Here you go, guys. Have some money and some snacks. And some delicious jelly bellies. So France is still 19 years away from being my friend. Maybe more. Offer from Venice. Yes, I will totally take Venice. They border Switzerland. So that's just fate. Fate has Veniced me good. I gotta make sure to get some money from Switzerland in this war. Alright, war. Let's see how you do. 91%. Go faster. Okay. We now have casus belli against Switzerland, and we are attacking. Declare war. Conquest. Call willing allies. All of my allies are keen to attack Switzerland, so that's great. I think we'll let somebody else fight the army if we can, and we'll just take the war goal. So we got a ticking war goal in this War of Waldestititititita. So if we just take this and hold it, then we'll eventually get plus 25 war score just from having that territory. Wow, he was actually going to attack my army. That's convenient. All right, so we're looking at who's at war. Nobody came to their aid except for the Palatinate, which is too far away with no shared borders to do anything. Burgundy came to my aid. They are not funding their army. Look at the morale of all their armies is 0. But eventually they'll come and kill the bad guys. So hopefully one of my allies arrives in time before. It looks like Venice is sending 21,000 troops, maybe even 30. No, yeah, 30,000 troops. So I want to get in on this fight if it happens, but this is a giant mountain, so you don't want to fight against people who are standing on the top of the mountain waiting for you to come visit them. And it'd be a shame if they take Wallace while I'm improving the culture. So if this becomes a positive number and they're about to get Wallace, I will cancel the culture bombing. Oops. So they're 10 away from taking that alliance. Still looking good. So we're still improving relations with them. We need to improve relations with Burgundy, and who else was on our list of besties? Best friends. Portugal can be a fun ally, but oh, they don't like me. Aragon, why not? One of my goals, one of my quests is to take Sardinia, so the only way I would want to be friends with Aragon is if somebody else took Sardinia from them. Also, I'm allied with Venice, and Venice might want Sardinia, so I might be able to get them to go with me against Aragon, so I'm not going to ally Aragon. Anyone with access with a port on this ocean, Sardinia, I mean, Aragon is very untrusting of, has a hostile attitude toward, because they hold a bunch of islands that are very good. Money comes from that, but they're easy to lose. Anyone has more boats than you lose, no matter how big or powerful your army is. Okay, watch this. My allies killed the enemy army. I'm just going to come in last minute, scare them away, then go back. More power to the nobles. Delegate more provinces. More power to the provinces or more power to the nobles? I hate giving power to the nobles, because then they have really strong generals and revolt with them. So let's chase that around, see if we can kill it. Wouldn't want everyone else to get the XP from killing that army. I want to be in on the fight. Even though I am taking some, when your troops die from attrition, that's what I'm taking some attrition from it. Alright, so I'm going to need to improve relations with, let's see, check the heart. I got some good friends nearby, and I want to make sure they stay my good friends after I take this territory. Because taking territory right here is going to really piss off anyone nearby, so these guys. 81 opinion from Venice and Genoa. I think I'll improve relations with Venice, because 50 of their positive relations comes from our alliance, and 25 comes from us being in a war together. So we basically have no goodwill with Venice except for the alliance and the war. So if we piss them off, they'll be pissed off for a long time. Let's keep them happy. So these Palatinatians are fleeing to a place that I can't get to, maybe? Nope, they're going here. Awesome. You gotta be careful about fighting battles on your own when you only have 6,000 manpower. I mean, just attrition is going to use up 6,000 manpower. Like, I'm such a small country that I should not really be fighting at all. Gotta avoid attrition. I think I can stop funding my army now too. Thanks for winning the war. I am no longer going to pay you guys. And stop funding the army means pay them half. Like, you can't go below half, so. I've got a missionary that I don't need, I think. Let's find out. Well, they added a new pop-up-y thing, so when you need your missionary, it pops up, so you don't need to worry about whether or not you need it. You can invest in a cardinal. How many of the cardinals do we have influence with? Looks like 2. What's the cheapest cardinal? See this number 10? That guy's the cheapest cardinal. So we'll steal it. Our cardinal. And, I mean, investing your papal influence is just like I don't know, it doesn't seem even worth it. Because when you get, like, domination in Europe, when you're the most powerful European power, you're going to end up getting more papal influence because the Pope is going to want to be on your good side because you're so powerful. And at that point, you're going to get control of the Holy See anyway. So fighting for control of the Holy See when there are much bigger people with more land that are getting more influence than you, that can easily defeat you in that fight, just seems like a waste. Alright, I would fire that advisor, but I don't think I need the money yet. A 1 advisor is the best you're going to do, and I don't want to pay another 18 gold later on. I'd rather pay 1 gold a month for 18 months and just keep him. Fast forwarding the war. Go, war, go! Alright, Castile finally wants to be my bestie friendy. Bestie friendy. Now we are bestie friendies with Castile. That should keep France off our back until they like us enough that we can ally them. I'd really like to be France's ally because they border Austria, and Austria is the head of the empire, and so they're the ones you really have to worry about. Like right now, when I take this territory, Austria is going to ask for it back. And if I say no, then I'm going to have a huge revolt risk there. I'm not going to get any money from it for like 10 years. And it's going to be a pain in the butt. If you get France's help to defeat Austria, then you can overthrow them, and then you no longer have to worry about that, and you can take all the territory you want. Alright, so war is kind of over. We own most of the territory. And there we go. Oops. Alright, siege successful. Switzerland has accepted peace with Genoa, in which they gain... Oh, Genoa took their own peace and took all the money. Those bastards. Peace offering. They'll give us the land. They'll renounce their claims on the land, or on some of our land, and they'll pay us 42 bucks. And that sounds like a good plan. Typically, I would decline this and see if I can get something better on my own. But because they just paid Genoa 44 bucks, they might not have enough money for me to ask for 42 if I don't accept this offer. The Palatinate is offering a separate piece in which they'll give me money. So I'll take both of these. Bunch of money, and that'll make up for the fact that I went into debt. I can repay those loans now. I don't have to, but if I don't repay the loans, I often forget that I have them, and then when it comes time to pay up, it's a pain in the butt. Alright, so let's make this a core. Put all our guys there. Now Austria is going to demand that we give it back. They formed a military coalition against us. Right? Austria said, if anyone attacks Savoy, I will help you. And Austria is crazy powerful, right? The only reason that they don't attack us outright is because they don't share a border with us, so they can't get Casus Belli to attack us. So we don't have to worry about them just attacking us. But one thing they can do is demand this territory back, and that'll give them Casus Belli. But because we're allied with Burgundy, Burgundy and Austria are of similar strength. Usually if Burgundy and Austria fight, it'll be bad for both of them. So here's Austria saying, give me back that land, or else you get plus 10 revolt risk, minus 33 tax modifier, and minus 50% manpower. And so I'm going to decline. I get to keep the land, but it's useless. See, so it's earning $0 a day. That's no fun, but whatever. And early on in the game, administrative power is very important, and I took a loan, so I have some inflation, so I'd like to take the Master of the Mint to get rid of that inflation and to give me some administrative power. You always want to keep your inflation low, so that when often you're presented with the choice, take 6 loans and win a war, or don't take loans and lose a war, and usually you'd prefer to take the loans. Oh man, my king died, and now I don't have a new king. My next king is 12, so he'll be here eventually. So you want to keep your inflation low enough so that if you ever get to that point, you can take the loans. Take the loans. Military access from Provence. Yeah. Ah! There's like an alarm. Oh. It says that it's been a half an hour, so I guess I'll start the next section.